Okay, now I'm going to teach you some basic teardrops. Teardrops are a good way to practice using your brush because you can use them on anything. They can accent any face or anything that you're doing. So you're going to learn to use your brush again with the tip. You go straight into it is going to make the skinniest, and then laying it flat makes the thickest. Okay, so for one type of teardrop, I'm going to lay it thick first, and I'm going to pull it, and as I pull it, I'm going to curl the brush. I'm going to turn the brush and pull up. Okay, so I'm going to do this and turn and pull up. Lay it down, turn, and pull up. And I like to do sets of 3. 3 seems to be the optimal number. Then again, there's times when I like to do a princess and I do a big one in the middle, and I go and I pull that straight down, and then I do 3 on the sides. I'm not as good going back this direction. You got to make sure that you have enough paint on your brush as well so you get the right color. So I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to pull it in and see, I'm always pulling in towards a certain point. It's like an imaginary point that I'm looking at. So if I was doing this side of an eye, let's say that this is the corner where the eye is, okay? So I want to pull everything into this corner. So I would go do my teardrop, lay it down, swirl it in. Lay it down, swirl it in. Lay it down. See, but I'm always going towards some imaginary point that I've got in my head. Now another way you can do this, if you don't like going from thick to thin, you can go from thin to thick. So I'm going to start with a point straight in. I'm going straight towards the arm. Okay, so I'm going to do a thin line. I'm going to pull down just a thin line, and then I'm slowly going to lay my brush down. So I'm going thin to thick. And you can even curve it too. So thin to thick. Thin to thick. Thin to thick. Okay, so you want to practice those. You can even make a flower with this. So you can do a little oval by just laying your brush sideways. Do a little center oval. Okay, and then I'm going to do the leaves coming down from here. So you can do your thin to thick, thin to thick. Okay, and I'm going to come up around, thin to thick. And as I come up here, I'm going to get smaller. Okay, so I'm going to progressively make my leaves smaller, which means I'm not going to lay my brush down as far. Okay. And then as I come around, I'm going to get bigger again. And it kind of gives more of a three-dimensional look if you get bigger and then smaller. And then you can add to this, you can even add some of your swirls that we talked about from before. You come off and you can use dots. You got to keep enough paint on your brush. You can use dots. And you can really do some pretty things that kids especially really like, especially if you have girls. Now you can do more of a tribal type art if you have boys. So let me turn and use this part of my arm. And I like to switch to black for this. You can do it